Is it just me, or does it seem like society is literally repulsed by old people, specifically old women?
Some women be pretty when they young, when they get older, they be looking bad.
Ain't nobody sitting down with no burnout hoe. nigga looking for, nigga don't want no burnout. Nigga, man, once a woman get 31, 32, and nigga, she done had fun in her 20s, she's a burnout.
Is it just me, or don't you notice how women younger and younger are trying to get preventative surgeries, buying preventative aging products to not age, to stay looking young? Women talking about how they're afraid to age and they're afraid to be old.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
If this is how I look when I'm old, I don't want it.
Or have you seen a certain particular genre of men online talk about when women age, their desirability and worth go down? How men older are dating women younger.
A man should always have a woman at least 7 years, younger than him.
I was naive. I looked great. I looked amazing. I didn't know a lot. I was just kind of down for whatever.
And I think those are key things that you just said. You didn't know a lot. You were impressionable. You were down for it forever because you didn't know no better. And I think that type of mentality is easier to mold into a wife.
This type of content that is surfacing online is spreading the notion that as women age, or if you are older women over the age of 30 or 40, you are simply useless in society, specifically to men and being in relations with men. Spreading this notion that nobody wants to deal with an old woman, or no man wants to be with a woman their age. And people are believing it. And I refuse to believe any of this mess. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. It's EDayJ, and welcome back to another video. In this video today, I'm going to break down how these two types of content that I mentioned a little bit ago relate to each other. I'm also going to talk about why it's harmful to society and to young people, why it's harmful to women. I'm going to share some clips relating to this content and the content that I'm talking about itself, and of course, share my thoughts and opinions. So let's get into it. So a little disclaimer before I start this video. I am not trying to talk down on anybody that has gotten preventative aging surgery, who has gotten preventative aging products, because I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form I'll never partake in like anti-aging. I'm not even saying I necessarily disagree with it. However, there are some aspects because things tend to go too far one way on the internet or in society in general. So I think there's not a balance here, and that's where I have a concern. Also wanted to just bring out a little disclaimer from my last video. I feel like that video honestly probably offended a lot of people because it came off like I completely disagree with the idea of a woman having OnlyFans, and that's just simply not the case. It's the whole idea as a whole. If you watch the entire video and you understand and try to get a grasp of what I'm saying, you maybe understand where I'm coming from. But again, my content is not for everyone. I am not for everyone. My thoughts and opinions are not for everyone, and everyone should not agree with my thoughts and opinions because that's just how life works. So I just wanted to make that little disclaimer here, is that I'm not trying to bash anyone or talk down on any group of people. I'm just simply sharing my ideas, thoughts, and opinions about society, the rhetoric and ideas that we have in society at a given time, content that is popular at the moment, and things like that. So yeah. So on one hand, we have this content from a particular genre of men. Most likely, I don't want to put it on all of them, but some of them are probably misogynistic men who are making these types of videos and saying these types of things. I can understand in some aspects, actually, I was gonna say in like some things. In this particular like idea that as women age, desirability goes down, I just simply cannot agree with any of that.
I think younger women tend to be more impressionable. I think older women, in my experience, you 30, 33, 35, the experiences that you have at that point is just, a little bit too much for me. And I really think in some cases, you really can't teach an old dog new tricks. So I prefer, my women to be the younger variety.
If a woman wants to respect you and give you the respect to lead and be her partner, why do you need to have that level of power over her if you're not trying to manipulate someone? See,
it's not power, it's impressionable. I've never seen a successful partnership where the other person wouldn't allow themselves to be impressed upon. If I'm a person and I got a vision, I got a plan, I got a whole program, I would think that the person that wants to be with me is willing to learn and willing to adopt some of the ways and even some of the principles that I have.
That's not impressionable. Impressionable is basically getting someone to do what you want them to do because they're easily swayed and easily persuaded to do what you want them to do.
Who said that? Did you make that up?
Well, I
like when you hire somebody, you look for somebody that's impressionable.
But
why would I listen?
Right, so you can train them. So you can, when you hire somebody, you're about to train them.
Now,
and that's why you want them impressionable.
So yeah, there's been these videos surfacing online, and a lot of these men are trying to justify why they think dating a younger woman is justifiable and should be a thing that's promoted to all men. So we have this content saying that basically older women aren't going to find a man, which is basically what this content is. The idea behind all this content, what it's spreading, is that older women can't find a man because they are basically too old. they're washed up, they're, you know, quote unquote ran through of what some men would say. They have too much life experience, some of them have too much baggage, or they're too independent. Okay, especially that independent part. I think a lot of this comes down to men wanting to be able to have a woman and a girl in their life that they can manipulate and not have an actual like partnership, coexisting relationship with. They want somebody they can manipulate and impression. Like this guy said in this video, he wants somebody he can, you know, manipulate and move.
Date somebody your own age. Why aren't you doing
Why?
that? Why aren't you dating women your own age?
Some women, not all. Not all. Some women be pretty when they young. When they get older, they be looking bad.
There's
the older women don't
dynamic.
be fit. They don't be friendly. They don't be feminine. They don't be cooperative.
So men in their women
and they
in
don't
their
be
40s aren't-
submissive.
A lot of times men want to date somebody so much younger because y'all be wanting somebody to train. That's what it is.
Yeah, sometimes.
And men say that.
Hey.
Women are not things to train.
Well, she could train up. It says train up a child in the way they should go.
But that's why y'all be wanting to date children.
No, but
that's why y'all be wanting to date children.
So listen, I see older guys date young girls all the time. You understand?
We do, but that doesn't say that there's nothing wrong with that, though.
Ending day here. Watching these clips are making me irritated all over again, but I just had to add in that like there's this like weird energy that I can't even articulate of like these men wanting somebody that they can manipulate and control almost as a child or a dog or even an object, which is not anything new that, you know, in our society, women being looked at and treated as objects. But it's just like I haven't heard men speak as openly as they are now about liking young girls, because this is nothing new. This is something that has, I feel like, always been a thing, but men are feeling very comfortable to talk about it now, and it's coming off very pedo. Like, I don't know. How do y'all feel? It's giving me really weird vibes. You can like who you want, you know what I mean? It's legal technically, but just because it's legal doesn't mean it's not wrong or weird or that we don't have to question it.
Men like younger women. They've always have.
Okay,
since the dawn of time.
No,
hold
this
on,
is what
Nomi.
y'all- okay.
Hold on, Nomi. Hold on, Kai. They've liked them since the dawn of time. They like younger women. As soon as women bleed, they're like, oh my God, she's becoming an adult. Now it's about that time. Y'all watch Game of Thrones. Yeah, that's all olden times. Nowadays, society has developed, society have changed. We now know that brains develop at a later age. So we feel a little different about it. But still, at the end of the day, men naturally like younger women. Untouched women. Virgins. Women that don't have their mind completely set on a fixed thing. They're easily, what was the word for you, Kai?
Malleable.
There you go. Men like that.
Yeah.
We don't want to take you on vacation to a place that you've already been to.
Yeah, it's a way for
we
a man.
don't.
It's a way for a man to control a woman.
I mean,
Yeah, it didn't work out.
you can say control, but that
Didn't work out.
Control is one of those buzzwords that people use in order to shame it.
You just brought up ancient times. A girl going on her period and a grown man dating her. That's control.
Are we
That is
done?
control.
Are we done? Can I go back to speak? So
promise
like I was saying, people use these words in order to shame the men that like younger women. At the end of the day, men still like younger women.
So then we also have these men online trying to say, well, this has been a thing since, you know, the hunting and gathering days, and, you know, men naturally biologically like younger women because younger women are more fertile, and, you know, the whole point of life anyways is to procreate, and that is our natural instinct, and this and that. I started to understand that in some ways, but then my brain was like, no, wait. There are a lot of things that were instincts back then that we no longer necessarily live by now. These instincts are no longer ones that are in our conscious and that we act on and that we like sit here and think about. I guess you want to say, I mean, maybe it's subconscious. I could be wrong. I didn't do any research on that. I'm going to be completely honest. But I feel like there has been some evolution here too in our brains and in our bodies to where it's not a biological thing for men to automatically be more attractive naturally to a younger woman. I think it is a conditioning, a grooming, and a society thing that men have been fed either by society or even their fathers or male figures in their lives. On the other hand, we have just a lot of content talking about how women are afraid to age and that they're afraid that they cannot find a man if they're, you know, the right age of 30. They feel like they are no longer like in the market or in the dating pool because they are now too old. Or, you know, a woman getting a little wrinkle on her face and saying, oh, I need to get a Botox or a facelift, you know, because I'm afraid of looking old.
I turned 30 this year, and one of my major goals was to really start taking my anti-aging skincare routine seriously.
Because what is anti-aging routine if not the physical embodiment of the fear of death? When you think about it, like, what is wrong with getting older? And I'm not saying that I won't participate in anti-aging. I'm not saying that y'all will never see me get some Botox, but I am saying, why do we do it? Because what is the downside to looking older? You are older. What am I supposed to look like after 5 decades on this earth? If I've been here for 5 decades and I have lines on my face, what's wrong with that? I have not been on earth for 50 years yet. But the time that I've been here right now, I feel like Yoda. Like, I can only imagine adding another couple decades on top of that and being 50 something and somebody having the audacity to complain that I have smile lines. Yeah, I've been smiling for 50 years, Lord willing, you know, if life turns out the way I would like it to. I've had a lot to smile about over the last 50 years. What's it to you? Why is that a problem? Why should I not look like I've smiled? Like, when you really sit and think about it, it's just like, it's men ultimately imposing this on us, but it's gotten to the point where it's so pervasive that women police ourselves now when it comes to anti-aging. Like, I think about all the nasty things people had to say about Sarah Jessica Parker's face on the early seasons of And Just Like That, and it's like, the woman's been on this earth for several decades. She's allowed to look like that. What's wrong with it? Does she have to actively go under anesthesia and have somebody rip her face open and then sew it back together again so that it looks lifted for you to be pleased with her acting? Like, it's weird. When you really stop and think about the things people are critiquing about women, especially when women police ourselves and do it to each other, which is basically what we do now. And, you know, we say things like, beauty is empowering, beauty is a currency. Yeah, but who set that up, babe? We're all going to the same place, babe. We're all going to the sandbox in the sky. I'm allowed to look like 60 years of life have happened to me if that's what I choose.
Just a lot of content of women being afraid or pushing this idea of being afraid of getting old, of preventing getting old and trying to look as young as possible for as long as possible. Now, in itself, I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing. However, it just is kind of contradicting when this is your body's natural process. We're trying to stop a natural process that naturally happens as we age and as we're on this earth longer and longer. I think in a lot of ways we miss the beauty in it, and I think that we are just conditioned to think that aging is bad, particularly and specifically in women.
Society literally got a phobia of getting and looking older. Let's talk about it. Which is crazy because the only alternative to getting older is dying young. People don't realize that getting older is a blessing. Instead, they're trying to apply 40 pounds of anti-aging cream so that they don't get no wrinkles, and we got people that are in their early 20s going to get Botox. And then not to mention this year-long debate about what generation looked the youngest. Like, it's literally tired. And I think it's more important things that we should be focusing on. It's like there's too much of a hyper focus on looking and staying young. Like, getting older is a beautiful thing. And I think we need to normalize getting older. We need to normalize not looking the same that you did when you were young. And sometimes, in a lot of cases, you look better as you get older than you do when you was younger. Because I know for me, when I was younger, I was skinny. I had a big head. My body didn't fit my head size. And now that I'm getting older, like, my body, everything is starting to come together cohesively. So getting older is literally a blessing. And just enjoy the journey that your body is taking as it's continuing to have longer time here on earth. Like, it shouldn't be no debates. We shouldn't be using ageism to make nobody feel bad, because at the end of the day, we all gotta get old, honey. All of us.
Because we don't hear the same kind of rhetoric or conversations around men, and as men getting older, their worth and desirability going down. We don't hear these same conversations about men online. And a lot of this is just being tied back to society putting women's worth solely based off of their appearance. It's something that is very, very hard to escape as a woman in society. Editing day here again. So I wanted to add this clip in. I found this clip from a YouTuber called 4 on Fridays, and I got it from his video titled The Pedo Podcast Problem. Go check out the video. It is an amazing video. He put this clip in there of India Love basically saying how she is in competition of trying to stay relevant. She's in competition with 18-year-olds and young girls because there are girls that turn 18 every day. She has to work really hard to keep herself relevant and to be the baddest bee. I feel like this is really tied in with women that are older fighting to stay young and fighting to stay relevant because they know how society treats older women. Check out this clip.
My body need me. I turn 18 every day. Yeah, I said it. So I'ma stay on point.
She said a woman turns 18 every day, or a girl turns 18 every day.
I'm the type of that want to comfortably be able to stand next to any bad and know I'm the baddest because of the work I put into my own self. What you talking about?
Low key, I feel like what she's doing does not warrant the moans. Here she is, belabored by breathing, saying a girl turns 18 every day. That she works so hard, so she knows she's better than the women around her. She believes that she, a 30-year-old woman that has been online before the girls she's referring to were even born, she believes that she is in competition with them. So she's in competition with children.
You know, I think a lot of this is even being pushed in our face, and not so blatantly as you might think it might be, like a plastic surgeon promoting a certain surgery to prevent aging or to look younger, or certain anti-aging creams or serums. It's not always that blatant in your face. Sometimes it can be just simply, seeing an older celebrity, right? An older man celebrity with a very, very young, very young, celebrity or whatever she may be. Let's say like on the red carpet or just, in the magazines or on blogs. You see that, and it's not something you think about, consciously, like, oh wow, like he's with a younger, maybe you do. I mean, like if you're like, 70 with a 21-year-old, come on now. And I think a lot of this is honestly very weird and needs to be questioned in a lot of ways, because especially how these men are trying to justify these things, right? But I'm going back to that topic. It makes me feel really, really sad for myself and women and other women in society, because we are literally told that we are only good from the ages of, basically when we start bleeding and, we can procreate, whatever, up until about 30 is when society says we hit our decline. Basically, that's what we're told. And so basically there's only, for some people an average, let's just say an average of 15 to 18 years of when you're in your prime. And so when you're out of that prime, when you're, 30, 40, 50, how do you feel? If you're a woman and you're 30, 40, 50 watching this video, drop in the comments how, anti-aging and this whole idea about, women getting old, how has this affected you and your confidence and how you show up in life and how, you think about beauty? How has that, let me know something down in the comments. I've always looked at, honestly, aging so beautifully. Some of the oldest people in my life, those are the ones that I look up to the most, the ones that I think are the most impactful and the most important. And I think that we forget that, even us as women forget that our worth is not solely tied to our appearance. We forget that there's so many quote-unquote older women who are so successful in so many different things other than their appearance. I think that it sucks because, men don't necessarily care about the hard work a woman puts in to have a successful life and to be fruitful in her life. Men don't really care about that for the most part. Most of them really just care about having a beautiful woman. So it kind of sucks for us because, they don't really see that as something, that holds value. And we do, a lot of us do. This content is so harmful because it leaves women just searching for the next thing to look better and to, again, look younger. And it keeps literally women on a hamster wheel, constantly, again, just looking for the newest thing and, literally looking to the future and not being hopeful or happy or excited because all you're worried about is getting old and being useless and not finding a man. I think that this content is harmful for young girls who haven't even hit puberty yet because they're being told that even before they can hit puberty, in 15 years, society basically won't give a damn about them. A lot of things I talk about on this channel can be tied back to being aware of the content you are consuming online, being aware how you can be influenced, conditioned, and groomed literally by TikTok, y'all. Literally by TikTok. I feel like a lot of men are watching these certain podcasts. They're taking on these ideas as their own truths and standing on it, and believing these things that these men are saying. And I think that it's not like just like with what I'm saying, it's not a one size fit all. All men are not like this. Just like how, when the man earlier in the video, he said something like how, younger girls are more impressionable and older women are, you know, they have all this life experience that the man doesn't want. I feel like that is also kind of generalized in itself, because a younger girl can be very mature and, you know, very wise for her age and not be as impressionable as you think she will be, or as, you know, easy to manipulate as you think she will be. You know what I mean? And vice versa for an older woman. You might think she has all this life experience and all this baggage and, you know, she's too much, but maybe she doesn't. Sometimes even I need to be careful with what I'm saying, because it sounds like I'm really generalizing a lot of things. But I'm not, and I try to make that very transparent, but these men do not. And even if they do, still what they're saying and how they're trying to justify liking younger women, it just does not make sense. It sounds like you want somebody to manipulate, period. Kind of random for this point of the video, but I don't know about y'all, but some of like the older women I have seen have been some of the most beautiful women I've seen. The beauty of knowing that they're older, but they're standing on that and they're living on that and they're still, you know, just being themselves, and it's just beautiful. Like, I don't know where this whole idea of being old is ugly came from. Like, what? Like, we're literally human, we're literally meant to age. Like, what is going on? Anything, I think a woman's worth grows as she ages. She brings on more knowledge, more wisdom, more life experience, and I think having more of that makes you a more well-rounded individual in life in relation to other people. So I feel like as you age, whether you are a man or a woman, your worth should go up in a lot of ways. I just wanted to bring some awareness to this content that has been surfacing a lot online. I don't know how y'all's TikTok has been looking. I typically really don't scroll on TikTok unless I see a video come up about one of the topics that interests me, and then I'll go on TikTok and do some TikTok research about these videos, because honestly, scrolling on TikTok or any social media platform like that gives me anxiety, quite frankly. If you guys want to see more in-depth, more essay style videos, more research-based videos, let me know down in the comments. Or do you guys like these more just fast, quick, you know, straight to the point, just presenting some information and showing my thoughts and opinions? Let me know what you guys want to see down in the comments. And of course, if you want to see more videos like this, social commentary and reaction videos, be sure to subscribe to this channel and turn on post notifications so that you know when I upload next. And if you want to see more of the behind the scenes of my life, fashion, personal development, lifestyle tips, be sure to subscribe to my second channel. I'll leave that here on the screen and down in the description. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.